Pearl was released into competitive this week, and after playing just a few games of ranked, it's obvious that many of you didn't play the PvE or the Pearl only queue. Running around left and right are in-stock Jets, Reynas, and Chambers, and it's very rare to see much coordinated team utility this early into the map's release. So with this video, my goal is to guide you all into what agents will be best and what agents should be left behind when you queue into Pro for your ranked games. We'll categorize all of the agents by their class, starting with the duelist, and we'll group them into one of three categories. Optimal, meaning it's the best pick for the map. Viable, meaning it might not be the best pick, but it can certainly work out if you're specialized in that agent. And not viable, meaning if you pick this agent on Pearl, then it's likely not going to work out for you and your team. We're starting off with a tricky category here with the duelist, because I'm unsure if a duelist is even necessary on a map like Pearl. We've seen this no duelist meta for a while now on Icebox, and more recently with Ascent in regards to pro play, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case with Pearl when the map gets introduced to professionals just a few months from now. When you think about a duelist job to create space onto a site, there isn't much room to be created on each of the two respective sites on Pearl. On B, with the super long corridor, there's absolutely nowhere for someone to satchel in or for a jet to dash, and on A, using something like a jet dash would only be useful for clearing that very close right angle. So in my early prediction, there are no duelists that fall into the optimal category on this map. In the viable category, we have a plethora of agents. First off, Jet, because let's be honest, Jet is viable on every map in Valorant, followed by Yoru, who I personally think has lots of potential here with it being such a large map. Using Yoru's TPs to quickly go from one site to another can be really useful here. I also think Raze has a bit of upside on Pearl, especially if you combine a Raze with a Fade in your team composition. Those Raze grenade and Fade tether combos are absolutely lethal. And the last duelist that falls into the viable category for me is Neon. And to me, Neon is super underrated across a bunch of maps in Valorant, but the difficult thing with Neon is that she's such a niche pick. Unlike Jet or Raze, which are very easily fillable duelists, you really need to know what you're doing with Neon in order to get the most out of her. And I think that same storyline will hold true with Neon on Pearl. Falling into the not viable category, we have Reyna and Phoenix. Both of these agents have been the worst agents in Valorant for quite some time now in regards to team utility, and despite the recent buffs to Phoenix, I don't see him getting much use here on Pearl. Not only do all of the flashing initiators have more potential on this map, but all of the ult orbs are heavily contested by both sides of the map, meaning farming Phoenix's ultimate ability will be really difficult here. As we move over to the initiators, this is an agent class that will continue to thrive on Valorant's latest map. I will say this though, if there's one group of agents that are subject to change in regards to the optimal, viable, and not viable picks, it's definitely the initiators. So depending on the time that you're seeing this video, take it with a grain of salt as everything is subject to change. Going back to what I said about the likelihood that no duelists are played on this map in pro play, that opens things up quite a bit for the double initiator meta. In the optimal category, we have Fade, who has so much potential in her haunt ability with all of the different rooftops here on Pearl. When Fade first released into Valorant, I was really hesitant in her ability to fully replace Sova, but man was I wrong. She is an insanely strong agent. As we move over to the viable category, we have every single one of the remaining initiators: KO, Skye, Breach, and Sova. Out of all of the flashing initiators, I'm curious to see if any one of these agents starts to pull away and separate themselves as the distinct best pick on this map. But as of right now, I think there's value to be had from every single one of these flashing initiators, whether it's KO, Skye, or Breach. Regarding Sova, the only true value that I see from him here is using his drone to push off operators that are holding B long. But in every other instance, I'd rather go with Fade over Sova regarding the initiator with wall hack abilities. By the way, guys, over 95% of my viewers over the last 30 days are not subscribed to the channel. So do me a favor, if you're enjoying the content, click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that I post. Also, I'm live Tuesday through Saturday on Twitch, grinding through the depths of Immortal, so come say what's up in the chat, and I look forward to seeing you there soon. Now let's get back to the video. Next, we'll categorize the controllers. Similar to the initiators, I think a double controller meta will be very prominent on a map like Pearl. You have Viper, who's played more like a Sentinel on the defensive side, and then a traditional smoke agent that can smoke you off when you go to attack a certain site. In the optimal category, we have Viper and Astra. Viper seems like a pretty obvious pick here with their ability to lock down different parts of the map. I've seen a lot of different theories about how you can use the Viper wall to block off B long, but I personally think her wall will be best at retaining mid control with a wall that looks like this. Astra, on the other hand, might seem like a bit of a surprising pick, but with Pearl being such a large map, Astra can provide so much value because her smokes can be used universally no matter where she's located on the map. Combine how good her gravity well ability is and how much value you can get out of her ultimate ability when retaking a site on this map, and I think the Viper Astra meta is making a strong comeback here on a map like Pearl. In the viable category, we have Omen, whose smokes and presence can't be felt entirely universally, but I still think can provide a lot of value with his blind when attacking or retaking a site. In the not viable category, we have Brimstone, who simply doesn't have enough range on his smokes to provide enough value on the defensive side. I suppose Brimstone could be viable in a double controller meta when paired with Viper, but you won't have much luck at all rocking Brimstone as solo smokes. Last but not least, we'll categorize the Sentinel. In the optimal category, we have the obvious choice here with Chamber. Chamber can use one of his trips to get information toward mid, and we all know how strong Chamber is as a site anchor on any given site. Let's be honest, Chamber is the most broken agent in all of Valorant right now, so the addition of Pearl to the game won't change his value very much. For the viable category, we'll start with Cypher. I think there's an argument here for Cypher over Chamber solely for the fact that Cypher has 2 trips to Chamber's 1, and with all of the lurk potential and ratty corners here on Pearl, more information is never going to be a bad thing. As far as Killjoy goes, I'm very indecisive on whether to put her in the viable category or the not viable category. On one hand, she can be a great site anchor on A to do some chip molly damage, slow down a rush, and delay a plant, but on the other hand, the range limit to her alarm bot and turret is really worrisome if you want to get any sort of information toward mid. Not only that, but going out of range won't limit you of flanks like Cypher's trip could or Chamber's alarm bot. Lastly, we have Sage, who falls into the not viable category on Pearl. While her wall can certainly be treated like a piece of information, it obviously doesn't last forever. And I'd always rather have a Sentinel that can better alert me of flank on such a large map like Pearl. Not only that, but her wall is pretty subpar in the post plant when you're attacking. When you look at a map like Fracture in the post plant, her wall has so much value in cutting that A site in half, and it makes it so much more difficult for the retaking team to take control of that site. But on both sites on Pearl, there's pretty much nowhere that can provide enough value to make Sage a viable pick on this map. What do you guys think about my agent selections for Pearl? Let me know what you agree with and what you disagree with down in the comments below, but please remember to keep it respectful. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and check out the live streams over at twitch.tv/the1ZK. Again, I'm live every morning, Tuesday through Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.